What?
Eh?
You were saying about the party. The way it all changed after you started enjoying yourself.
Oh. Well, it did.
Tell us some more, then.
Not now.
Please? You never said no more about that fella on the stairs.
I'm tired.
Go on.
I'll tell you tomorrow.
Promise?
Yeah.
I really like listening to you. The things you say.
Good.
You know, I love you. I really do. I love you.
And Bill gets back when?
Well, not for another 10 days.
10 days? Well, that gives you time to come down to my place for dinner.
No, sorry, George. Too busy.
You mean you don't like the country?
I didn't say that. I love the country. It just makes me feel restless, that's all.
That's London for you, your job. You've become conditioned.
Oh, nonsense.
Unlike me, I never did let work or place of employment affect me.
You were a magistrate, George. You spent less time on your feet.
There you go again, rising to the defence of your boss.
George?
Well, he is. He's been doing it all the evening. Not that I blame you.
Brandy?
What? Oh, yes, please.
Peter?
Yes, thanks. Faye's not exactly my boss, you know. We work together, that's all.
A kinship.
Yes, if you like.
That's something I never really had. Mine was a somewhat lonely profession.
Do you regret it?
I don't think so, no. I sometimes look back and shudder at the weight of the responsibility, but then, in my case, that was an instant thing. A magistrate's responsibility is over with the taking of a major decision, the passing of a sentence. Your responsibility, that's longer lasting.
Yes.
I wouldn't care for it. It'd worry me. Running a woman's prison
Well, it's no different from any other.
must be a world of difference.
Why?
I just think that men can more or less adapt to prison life. They're natural prisoners.
And women aren't?
No.
I'd rather you said most women.
Oh, right then, most women.
Makes it sound more like a theory, less like a fact.
All right, then. If they don't adapt, what do?
They find replacement values. They invent.
So do men.
Not as easily, not as readily. Women are natural liars. Well, they believe in fantasy.
And that's a bad thing.
Yes, it means that you never really know your women prisoners. They're there on paper, down to the last detail, but what do you really know?
Enough.
You'll never know enough. They won't let you.
Oh, come on now.
And even if they're standing there in front of you, who are you looking at, the real person or the make-believe one? You think about it, young fellow.
Anne, you asleep?
Yep. Oh, to be going home. It's me son's birthday.
More tatty underpants for Borstal boys. If I had my way, I wouldn't let him wear nothing.
I bet. I knew a fella once.
Yeah? You knew a fella once?
He did a ball stall, an open one. He was a boiler boy. And he used to make this officer's wife behind the boiler house every time there was a football match.
What's this, another one of your cock and ball stories?
I should let you go home for birthdays.
I mean, I hear so many.
Just for the one day.
Well, you don't have to listen.
I can't help it. It's a true story. Yeah?
How old are you? I mean, you know more true stories than an old bird of 80. You might con that poor cow, but you don't con me.
I really ought to be going home.
Oh, shut up, Winnie. Anyway, there's the work.
Tell you what, June, you have this lot to yourself. You need the excitement more than we do.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
Oh, come on, girl, you said it.
Sit down, you daft bitch.
You're always making these snide remarks. What was that one supposed to mean?
You work it out.
Oh, come on, girl, you started it. You finish it.
Leave her alone.
I'm talking to her, not you.
And I said leave her alone.
Oh, no. She needles me like she needles a lot of other people. And you needn't sit there grinning, because I can knock that grin right off your silly-looking face.
You reckon?
I don't reckon, girl, I know.
Stay away from her.
Yeah? Stay away from your girlfriend, is that it?
No, it's nothing like that.
No?
She's my mate, that's all.
Yeah. You haven't seen yourselves. Well, what's wrong? Scared I might do more for her than you do?
You cow!
Oh, you bitch! You two. Wait now, you silly cow! Wait up there now! You bitch! Get off!
Who was fighting?
Rowena Patterson and June Mercer.
Where?
In the workshop yesterday.
What were they fighting about?
They won't say. No. I can't think of a reason. They're not exactly two of a kind. Patterson is a very quiet one. Mercer is the opposite.
Perhaps that's reason enough.
Could be.
Have either of them been in trouble before?
No. Nothing that's been reported, that is. Of course, Miss Harker might know more. Both women are from her wing.
Of course, if either of them had been in trouble, we would have heard, I suppose.
About something serious, yes. I believe a number of minor offences go unreported on North Wing.
Oh, why's that?
For the sake of experiment. Prisoners are sometimes given a second chance.
I've known you give them that, Mrs. Armitage.
Not for an experiment.
No? Miss Harker is adventurous.
Yes.
You still begrudge her that? Slightly, perhaps?
No, I don't think so. Not even slightly. I might begrudge her her age and her chances. I was taught in an old school, a different kind of school. There wasn't much in the way of experiment. But I suppose I could be adaptable.
Given time.
Given a lot of time.
So, how many reports have we this morning?
3 reports against discipline, madam.
Good, let's get on with them then, shall we?
Very good, madam. Rowena Patterson.
Is your name Rowena Doris Patterson?
Yes, madam.
You're charged under Rule 47, paragraph 20, for offending against good order and discipline by fighting in the workroom on Thursday, January the 15th at 3:15 p.m. You're reported by Officer Dale.
Madam, at 3:15 p.m. on the 15th of January, I was in the workshop with Miss Johnson when I heard a noise. I saw Rowena Patterson fighting with June Mercer. I separated them both and reported them.
You heard what the officer said. Is this true?
Yeah, true.
I see you've said nothing in writing. Is there anything you wish to say now?
Nothing.
Why were you fighting?
Dunno, madam.
You mean you fight for no reason?
Oh, there's got to be a reason.
So what was yours?
Mine?
Reason for fighting?
I'll forget, madam.
You forget.
Yeah. Well, it was sort of hot in the workroom. Too hot. Gave me a headache.
And that causes you to fight?
Madam?
A headache?
I suppose so, yeah.
Well, I think perhaps you should be seeing the doctor.
I don't think so, madam.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think there's anything wrong with you apart from a possible temper, right?
Dunno, madam.
Well, if you don't want to give me the proper replies, I can't make you. 7 days loss of privileges. Who's next? Why were you fighting?
No particular reason, madam. I just felt like it.
I said why.
I don't know, madam.
They didn't ought to keep you here when it's your son's birthday.
How old is he, Winnie?
41 now.
He ought to be old enough to have a birthday on his own.
My kids have never had a birthday on their own. Not till now. I've always been there.
Not this time, darling.
I've asked them.
Have you?
They always say no. Not important enough for home leave, they say. It's important to me.
It's no good just asking them, Winnie.
Eh?
You've got to bribe 'em.
Bribe 'em?
Yeah.
What with?
Money, of course.
I ain't got no money.
Well, tell them you'll have it sent. It's the only way, love.
But who?
Who?
Who do I bribe?
Try Miss Arker. She looks as though she could do with a few bob.
Just suddenly blew up. You know the way these fights do.
About nothing.
Oh, there must have been something, but I didn't hear it. I was working.
No argument beforehand.
Oh, there was some disagreement going on, but then there usually is. You get used to it. I mean, they don't all end up in blows.
No.
Do you know, if you want my opinion, there's too much freedom going around these days. Some of them think they can get away with murder.
So, who was involved?
Mercer and Patterson.
Yeah, I know that, but who else was there?
Oh, Evans, Smith, Harris. Oh, yes, and French. She's always there in the thick of things.
French?
And French. You know the one. Always looks as if she's too good to be true. But when there's trouble, she's in there somewhere.
Participating?
Oh, no, never that. Or you never see her doing it. But she's always there somewhere with that sweet, innocent smile on her face.
Anne French?
That's the one.
Morning, miss. It's all right, not complaining.
About what?
Foodless. Not quite like Mother makes it.
Who said you were complaining?
Oh, sorry, miss. I thought... Well, it was just the way you were looking at me. See, I never complain.
Not about anything.
No, miss. Not worth it, is it? Do your time and get out. That's the best move.
Is it? I hear there was some trouble in the workshop yesterday.
Well, sort of.
Were you involved?
Me, miss? No. I had my head down in my work, you know. It was all over by the time I looked up. Well, can I go now, miss? My food'll get cold.
Yes, go on.
Hello. Hello. How'd you get on?
All right.
I was worried about you.
Were you?
Yeah, I thought the door would open up and I'd find myself a new cellmate.
Don't say that.
All right.
Don't ever say things like that. Please.
All right, I won't.
Obviously, they've been fighting about something, but talk to them, ask them what? Nothing. Might as well ask a dog why it barks.
It's the code.
Oh, I know that.
Them and us. You never change it.
I've no intention of trying.
Oh?
Just an observation, Charles, nothing more.
You're lucky. I wish I had the time.
To do what?
To observe.
Well, don't tell me you've given it up.
No. I leave it to those with the right equipment. Consultant psychiatrists, therapists. I deal with happenings, not motivations. Better minds are paid to provide me with those.
Yes, but at the beginning of your career...
Oh, that was different. I was the world's worst bore then. Tried to do everyone's job in theory.
Don't believe a word of it.
Neither do I.
Pure invention.
Perhaps it's how I'd like to be. Sure, it's how Beth would like me to be, less involved.
I was talking to a friend of mine the other night, an ex-magistrate. He believes that most women make unnatural prisoners.
Oh, do you agree with him?
Peter Mays doesn't.
Peter Mays wouldn't. He was dipped in logic when he was a child. How about you?
Yes, I think I do agree. But so much we see is only on the surface.
Oh, as a psychotherapy unit, that'll dig deeper.
No, I'm talking about us. I'd like to know what's going on inside their minds, but in my own way.
Well, you'll never find out, because they never tell you. Not everything, it's all they've got.
Possibly.
They wouldn't even share those things with each other.
I still reckon your mum and dad might not like me.
Of course they will. I'll make sure of that. I'm the boss in our house, you know.
Oh.
So that's what you're going to do when you leave here. You're coming to live with us.
That would be marvellous.
You'll have a room of your own. We got this massive house. You can get lost in it.
What sort of house?
Queen Anne.
Oh.
You love the country.
Reckon I'll fit in?
Of course you will.
I don't think I've ever been there. Not properly. I went to Ilford once.
I can't wait to get back to that village. All the fellas will be queuing up to take me out. Don't forget me. Nobody ever does. Well, they're a load of Swedes, really. Right yokels. But they're good for a giggle.
All I want...
Yeah?
Is peace and quiet, that's all.
You'll get it.
Then I'll be all right. My family... It's been nothing but bloody noise since the day I was born. I don't want no more of that. And I want you as my friend always.
I remember once there was this fair at home.
Yeah?
Well, a little tatty one, you know. A few stalls, dodgems, bit of music playing, you know. And there was this fella, a townie, all the gear, you know. And he clocked me the moment I got there. Just me, nobody else.
Alone, please, miss.
All right.
So, what is it, Winnie?
It's my son's birthday Saturday.
Oh?
And I ought to be there.
Well, you can't be there, can you? You've been told before.
Oh, no, but it's not right. Birthdays isn't right without
Winnie,
Mum.
you have about 6 children, is it?
7.
7. And numerous grandchildren, and they all have birthdays, and almost once a week you come and ask to go home.
Not once a week.
Well, it seems like it. Oh, I'm sorry, Winnie. But you've only another 5 months to serve, and then you'll be home for all the birthdays.
I'll pay.
What?
I said I'll pay.
What do you mean, you'll pay?
I'll pay you. You know.
No, I don't know.
Of course, I ain't got nothing myself, but my kids, they'll have a whip round. They'll send it you. To your own like. You can work it, miss. Just tell me how much.
Winnie, are you offering me money to get you home leave?
Yeah.
Oh, if I'd heard that from anyone else, I'd have taken it seriously.
Then why don't you take me serious?
I don't mean I'd have accepted. I mean a report would have been made.
Then it's not on.
No, it is not on. It is never on. Now, I don't want to hear you say anything like that ever again, do you hear?
She said it'd be all right. The little cow.
Who's she?
I ought to have known. She's tried it on before, the
Winnie?
cow.
Tried what before?
She told me to throw myself down the iron staircase once, said I'll get home that way if I got badly injured. I was too scared.
Who are you talking about?
She's always saying things, making trouble. She caused a fight Thursday morning.
Winnie? Who?
I tell you not to talk in here about the others. You can't help it sometimes when they try to make a fool of you.
Winnie? Who are you talking about?
That Anne in number 3.
Anne French?
It was a joke.
A joke?
You know, madam, not to be taken seriously.
But it was taken seriously by a gullible old woman. Surely you must have been aware of the possible consequences?
Not me, madam. I didn't know she'd be daft enough to do it, did I?
Are you sure, Anne?
Yes, I am sure.
Did you ever suggest she threw herself down the stairs?
Not me, miss. I wouldn't do a thing like that. I like old people. I don't want to see them hurt.
What about the fight on Thursday?
That was just a fight, madam.
Over you?
Not over me. Nobody'd fight over me. I'm not important enough.
No?
I just want to keep out of trouble, madam. And I mean to. I promised my parents that. I just want to go home and lead a decent life for their sakes.
I don't seem to know very much about you.
No, madam. Well, I keep quiet.
Very quiet.
I know I've done wrong, madam. That's why I'm here, but it was only the once.
Twice?
Right, twice. But that's all, and I mean it. I've learnt my lesson.
Have you?
Yes, madam. I want to get home to the country. I miss it. I miss my room. It's high up in the house. All the ceilings are sloped. It's Queen Anne, you see.
Why do you tell us that?
What?
About the house?
Oh, I don't know. Just like saying it, because it's important. When she leaves here, Rowena Patterson, she's coming to live with us at the house.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, this business isn't finished yet.
No, madam.
I want to know a lot more about you.
Well, there's not much to know.
We'll see. Thank you, Miss Harker.
What's in there?
Anne French, aged 21, been here 7 weeks. One previous conviction for theft, was put on probation. Another conviction for theft while on probation. Is now serving 8 months imprisonment. There's also a suspended sentence running concurrently.
No, what's that for?
Vagrancy.
Have you got everything?
Yes, miss.
Well, keep it all together then.
Oh, here. There you are. Oh, thanks.
Reception for North Wing. She goes in with Evans.
Right, follow me.
And what about you?
I've got to go back, miss.
There's no point in going back to work now, is there?
No, miss.
In her room until tea time.
Thank you, miss.
Take that somewhere else. Aye? I don't want to talk to you. And I mean that.
Sort that out now, I think, while I can. Hello, Anne.
Hello, sir.
Is yourself?
Yes, sir.
Very decorative.
Well, we like to keep it cheerful, sir. Helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. Oh, where's this?
That? I don't know, sir. We cut it out of a magazine. I didn't read the writing.
You know, you're lucky.
Lucky, sir.
Yes, lucky. I suppose my biggest ambition is to live in the country.
Oh,
And I've always wanted a Queen Anne house.
really, sir?
So as far as I'm concerned, it makes you lucky, doesn't it?
Suppose it does, sir, yeah.
Tell me about it.
What, sir?
Your home. I'm interested.
Oh, well, I don't know whether I really want to, sir.
Why not?
It's just that it makes me miserable, that's all.
Talking about it,
That's right, sir.
but not being there.
That's right, sir.
Where is it exactly?
What, sir?
Your home, which county?
Oh, Berkshire, sir.
Oh.
You go to Chiswick, then you take the M4.
Because you see, the only recorded address we have of yours is at Fulham.
Ah, yes. Well, that's because that's where I was when I was nicked, sir. I was staying with a friend.
You mean you'd left home?
Only for a while, sir.
And some time ago you were arrested for vagrancy.
Oh, yeah, that was a laugh.
A laugh?
Well, I just decided to go on the road, sir. You know how you do sometimes. And it was all the fashion, all the rage, everybody was doing it.
Oh, I see.
And I've always been a bit adventurous, sir. My parents have got used to it. They always knew I'd turn up like a bad penny. They're marvellous, sir. They are really, really marvellous. They never moan, they never preach.
They sound ideal.
They are, sir. They believe in freedom.
Not like us, eh?
Oh, well, it's difficult for you, sir.
Looking for you, Miss Clark.
Oh, no. Here I was hoping to get off early for once, put my feet up, go to the cinema.
I won't keep you long.
Knowing you, it'll be a lifetime. Dedication should be switched off at 5 o'clock, you know that?
Would you like a coffee?
I'd love one.
Right. So, what is it? Anne French.
A strange girl. Nice enough, though. There's no trouble, surely.
Well, not until today.
What you do?
Nothing yet. But she says some odd things.
Yes. There's no harm in that, though, is there?
Well, the governor surprised me. She said she knew very little about her. And I realised I didn't either. The only way I ever get to know anyone is when they complain, and she never complains.
So you want my bit of knowledge, too?
Please.
Right, I'll see what I can dig up in the files.
I mean, so far, she's been a power of good.
Who to?
Rowena Patterson. That girl was such an introvert when she first came here, you couldn't get near her.
Oh, I know, lousy home.
But since she's been sharing with Anne, she's a changed person. She can reason, hold a conversation.
That's therapy.
Yes, it is in a way. She's always boasting about how she's going to live with Anne when she's released. In the country.
Whereabouts?
Oh, I don't know. With Anne's parents, I suppose.
What parents?
Girl had a physical not long ago. She's well.
Anything else?
Few things have been wrong with her. Indigestion, muscular pains in the back. She had a rash once. We gave her an allergy sensitivity test. It was negative.
So what does that prove?
She's probably got an overactive metabolism.
Yes, but that still doesn't answer my question. I mean, it sounds like a history of stress.
Yeah,
So could some of these troubles be psychosomatic?
it's possible.
Well, perhaps she should go to psychotherapy.
Oh, her mind seemed sharp enough to me the last time I saw her.
It could be too sharp.
Well, I'll get the consultant psychiatrist to take a look at her.
Ah, Charles. We're just discussing Anne French.
Extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, she's been here 7 weeks, but up until today, she's simply been a name and a number to us, and now she's suddenly emerged.
Well, we know that she causes trouble among the other inmates.
We know now, yes. But do we know why she causes it?
Well, I'm going to get Dr. Masters to take a look at her.
Oh, you haven't had a look at it yourself?
Physical one, yes.
Oh, physical.
Well, it's only ever possible to treat the obvious. She hasn't bothered me about anything else.
She never bothers anybody about anything, as far as I can make out.
What's the trouble, Charles?
Oh, nothing really. It's just a realization, that's all.
Over what?
Of the fact that if it wasn't for Winnie Smith, this girl would have served her time here and gone out on discharge without one single member of the staff ever having got to know her.
Some people's idea of the perfect prisoner.
Well, it's not mine. Is it yours?
No.
You see, I've just had a chat with this girl in a cell. And it's only afterwards you realise that you haven't had a conversation with her at all. Not a real one.
What else do you propose that we do?
I'd like to contact her parents.
All right.
I'll even drive down to Berkshire. I'm a country lover too. And I'd like to find out more about her.
Governor.
Hello, Governor. Janet Harkin here.
Yes, Janet.
I've just been speaking to Miss Clark, and I thought you ought to know that Anne French has no parents and no house in the country.
Oh, I see. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm just discussing her with Dr. Mays and Mr. Radley. Perhaps you should bring her here.
Now?
Yes, now. Let's get it over with.
Right, Governor.
Anne, Governor wants to see you.
What, King?
Yes? Come on, quickly now.
Don't worry, love. What's the matter, miss? Why are they picking on her?
I want to talk to you, Rowena.
What about?
About your future.
Oh, stuff that. I mean, you picked a right bloody time for a lecture.
You're making plans, aren't you?
Plans?
For when you leave here?
Yeah.
Do you intend to go and live with Anne?
At her parents' place in the country, yeah.
Well, I'm afraid that you're going to have to make other plans. Sit down. I mean, it's important. You leave here in a few months. Your future's got to be worked out sensibly.
It is worked out.
I said sensibly.
Oh, I see. I'm beginning to tumble you lot.
Rowena,
you don't want us two sticking together, that's it, isn't it?
Listen to me.
Well, you can't do nothing once we've left here. It's our lives, our choice. We're friends.
You may be friends, but you've nowhere to go afterwards.
I have.
No. Now, are you listening to me? Because I've got something to tell you.
What?
Like the truth.
Harris has been complaining about earache again.
Again?
Said it was an emergency.
Yes, it always is with her. Or she can book with the MO and wait like everyone else.
I told her that. Simpkins gave her an extra large piece of cotton wool. Kept her happy.
It would. Just wants attention, that one.
Talking of attention, Anne French seems to be getting her fair share of it.
At the moment, yes.
Odd one, that, wouldn't you say?
Keeps to herself.
You see, out of curiosity, I've been making some inquiries about her.
Oh?
She's always at the centre of any trouble. Never taking an active part in it.
Perhaps she's sensible.
Or shrewd.
Well, she's with the governor now. If there's anything to be found out...
according to the other women, she never writes any letters. That's funny, that, isn't it?
Yes, I know.
Does she receive any?
Not that I know of.
Oh.
You worried about her, Mrs. Armitage?
No, I don't think so. I've seen it all before too many times. And if it's what I think it is, I'm more concerned about the other one. Patterson. Do you know why we've sent for you again, Anne?
No, madam.
You've no idea.
No. Unless it's about Winnie Smith
No,
and
it's
I've
not
already...
about Winnie Smith. It's about you.
Oh.
Sit down, Anne. Yes, that chair. I said I wanted to know more about you. And thanks to the welfare officer, I do know just a little more about you. You've made this friendship with Rowena Patterson.
Yes, madam.
And that friendship is very important to Rowena.
It's very important to me too, madam.
She depends a great deal on you, doesn't she?
I suppose she does, yes.
And that dependence involves her future, not only here, but when she leaves. And there's also your future, your own plans. They're very important too.
Oh, that's all right, madam. I've worked all them out.
Have you?
Yes, madam.
Just in your mind?
What?
You see, Miss Clark has been looking into your background.
Oh, yes.
What there is of it on record. What's funny?
Nothing, madam.
You've travelled around a great deal, haven't you?
I suppose I have, yes.
Since leaving home?
Yes, but I always go back. I always return home.
Again, is that just in your mind?
Of course not, madam. I go home because I like it there. I love it.
What home are we talking about, Anne? The one that you left of your own free will when you were 16 years old? Or the one that you were forced to leave when you were 7? Well?
I don't know what you mean.
Yes, I think you do know what I mean, Anne.
I don't.
There is no house in the country.
There is.
No, Anne.
Well, there was once.
Yes, there was once. When you were 7 years old. Your parents went to live abroad when you were 7, and they left you behind.
They didn't leave me behind.
They left you behind with an uncle and aunt in London, and you haven't lived in the country since.
Well, I've been back. I've been back looking for the house.
Now, that's the truth, Anne. No fantasy this time. The truth.
Who cares about the truth?
You have to.
I won't. I won't have it.
Why did you leave your uncle and aunt?
Because I hated them. And I hated their stinking house and their stinking street.
Weren't they kind to you?
No. And I don't want to talk about them.
Because they are the truth.
Yes, if you like.
Come along now. Back to her room. Well?
Psychotherapy, I think. I'll talk to Dr. Masters first thing tomorrow morning.
Right.
I better have those.
Yes.
He'll shock her right back into reality.
She's better off where she is.
No, never.
Could make her worse.
For a time, perhaps.
Do you think she should be in the hospital wing?
Oh, no. No, she's not that bad.
Yet.
Should she be separated from Rowena Patterson?
No. No, I don't think so. They're friends. They're good for each other.
It doesn't matter, Anne. All them lies. It don't matter. Miss Archer told me. We can still stay together somewhere. Don't matter, honest.
There was this fella, he touched me once.
Hey?
When I was 12, it happened in the street.
What are you talking about?
I went home and told me uncle and aunt. They stripped me and took me out in the backyard. It was January, it was ever so cold, and they turned the hose pipe on me. It was the sex. They always treated me like a little whore after that, till I ran away. Oh, get off, will you?
But none of that matters now.
Of course it does. You know me now, there's no future in it. There's nothing left.
What do you mean?
Between us.
Of course there is.
Well, I'm saying there isn't. You know me now, there's no future in it. Can't you understand that?
Supper.
But go on.
I'm waiting for you.
For God's sake.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's this?
What's your name?
Shirley.
Oh.
I'm sorry all this has kept you so late this evening.
Oh, that's all right. I suggested to Dr. Faye that perhaps Anne and Rowena should be separated, but he thought not.
I'm glad.
Oh, you agree?
Yes. Well, Mrs. Armitage doesn't, but, well, they are good friends. They help each other.
And a good friendship is a hard thing to come by in a place like this.
Yes.
Well, we'll just have to see what therapy does for the girl.
I don't think it'll do any good.
Oh, why not?
Well, we've already exposed her fantasy, so she can't go back to that. She must be made to act out the truth in the same surroundings as she acted out the lies. She'll be looking for a refuge and should be denied it.
You think that she might use therapy as a refuge?
She might.
Well, we'll just have to take that chance, won't we? I'm going to ask Miss Clark tomorrow if she can't persuade Winnie Smith's son to come and visit her on his birthday.
Oh, good idea.
Well, I think that's all. Home.
How is Mr. Boswell?
Oh, very well, I think, thank you. He's in Amsterdam.
Oh? For long?
Oh, well, he'll have been away for 6 weeks. I try to persuade myself that independence is good for me. To go back to an empty house is very unwelcoming. Makes one feel very alone.
Anne. Anne, go to sleep. I just want you to talk to me.
No.
Please.
I can't talk to you.
Why?
You know why. There's nothing left to be said anymore. I've never been to therapy before.
So how was the therapy then?
Fine, thank you, miss.
Had much to say for yourself, did you?
Well, it's a bit difficult first day.
Yes. You know why you're there, don't you?
Yes, miss, because I got a problem. Well, had one.
Had one?
Yeah, it's going. I feel better already. Well, there's some right nutcases in that group. I feel the same as you are sitting next to them.
And what about the country?
The what, miss?
The house in the country.
I've forgotten that.
Have you?
Yeah.
So what did you want to see me about then?
Well, miss, I was wondering if I could stop sharing with Rowena Patterson.
Why?
I don't know, miss. We just don't seem to get on anymore. I mean, if I'm to be what they call straightened out, perhaps I'll be better off without her.
It's not possible.
Oh, but it is. Because that Jean Evans, she doesn't like sharing with the new girl. Why doesn't she share with Rowena?
I'm sorry, Anne, no.
No. But that's not fair.
I said no.
Right then. If you say so.
I got in touch with Winnie Smith's son. He said he can visit on his birthday.
Oh, good.
He'll lose pay from work, but he says he doesn't mind that. How's Anne French?
Well, she started therapy.
Should have happened long ago, before she ever came here.
Yes.
That girl's a mess. Her whole background says she is.
Well, she's getting attention now.
Yes. I just hope we're not too late.
I've been to see Miss Harker.
Have you?
Do you know why?
No.
I asked her if I could share a cell with somebody else.
But you don't want to, do you?
Yeah.
But why?
I just do.
I couldn't stand there.
Well, you just have to learn how to stand it then, won't you? Because she says she's going to look into it and she's going to get me moved.
She can't.
She can. She told me.
But I need you.
You need me. You follow me around like a dog.
We could be the same as we was.
No.
We could kid ourselves.
Look, them bastards out there, they've half killed me. They've taken the lot, and what am I left with? You. Don't you understand that, old mate? I don't want you anymore. I can't use you. I need somebody else.
So what's this? Get up off the floor. I'm talking to you. I said, what's all this?
Things I don't need.
Don't need?
No, miss. I'm in prison, aren't I? Why should I kid myself?
What about recreation?
Don't need that either.
Oh, come on now, girl.
I don't want nothing. Not from anyone. This is where I belong, right?
No.
It is. Because I'm here.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the truth, miss. The real truth. I know my place.
But that place isn't necessarily prison.
It is. It always will be. I don't want no favours. Not anymore. I'm just me. No one else.
Anyway, I took this fellow home, introduced him to the parents. Well, you have to do the right thing, don't you? He took one look at the house and he said, I'm not going in there, it's massive. Well, it is, it's very big. It's a lovely house, Queen Anne. Oh. Right, we live right in the country, it's ever so nice. Do you like the country? Yeah.